Hello, yogis. Welcome to your mat. My name is Krista, and thank you so much for dropping by. This is day 5 of our Spring into Yoga challenge. Today's class is going to be a full body stretch and unwind. So it's perfect to do at the end of your day, maybe if you've worked all day or if you were busy running around. Or you can do it at the beginning of your day just to wake up the body and feel nice and mobile to take on the day. As always, there is a playlist linked down below. So feel free to click on that to listen to some music while you are practicing today. And after today's class, this will complete the first week of our Spring into Yoga challenge. So feel free to take the weekend off to rest, to regenerate, maybe to catch up on maybe a class that you missed throughout the week. And if at any time you do the practice of the day, feel free to add on another practice if you wanted to do a longer practice for today. So you can pick any of my other yoga classes outside of this challenge, or maybe pair it with some classes from this challenge. So let's get started today. We're just going to start in a seated position, cross-legged. The only prop you will need today is, I'm using a pillow, but if you have a blanket, like a rolled up blanket, something like that, something that's nice and soft. We're going to be using that in our practice today. So get started in a nice, comfortable seated position. And just bring your hands onto your low back. Squeeze the elbows back and think of lifting your sternum bone out in front of you, maybe up towards the ceiling slightly. Take a nice deep breath in. Feel the chest expand. And then exhale, maybe with some open lips, just let it go. Stay here for another couple breaths. Interlace your fingers behind your low back, and then the top of that right hand, bring it beside your left hip. And then from here, just start to slowly drop that left ear towards the left shoulder. Feeling a nice stretch in through the neck. Maybe in through the shoulder area, the upper trap. And then if it feels okay, maybe start to point your nose down towards your armpit. Maybe reach it out in a diagonal, maybe spiraling your nose up towards the ceiling, and just notice how that changes the stretch. And then drop your chin down towards center and very gently lift your head back upright. We're going to switch our hands. This time the outside of the left hand is going to come beside the right hip. And then slowly start to drop that right ear down towards the right shoulder. One side might feel a little bit tighter than the other, might feel a bit different. And if just staying still feels good, just stay there. If you want to explore a little bit of movement here, you can start to point your nose up towards the ceiling, maybe reach it out in that diagonal, getting into the front of the neck. And then option 2, point your nose down towards your armpit. Keep breathing here. And then slowly start to drop your chin down towards center, and then lift your head back upright. Bring your hands to the middle of the back and just very gently release. Give your hands, your arms a shake. Shake it out. Inhale, extend the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, twist towards the right. Bring that left hand to the outside of the right leg. Lengthen the spine. On your next inhale, come up through center, arms reach up. Exhale, twist to the left. Let's do that one more time each side. Inhale, reach up through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, hands down into prayer. Just bring your hands onto your knees and just find some flexion into the spine as you start to curl the spine. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. And then inhale, start to arch your back. Reach the shoulder blades together towards the spine. Exhale, round the spine. Really puff up that space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, send your sternum bone up and out. Beautiful. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. And then come back through center. We're going to come into tabletop. So bringing the shoulders over top of the wrists and your hips directly over your knees. From here, tuck your toes under and then start to sit your bum onto your heels and then walk your hands back. Finding a nice deep stretch in through the feet. This is pretty intense for me. So you want to have a peek back and just notice if your baby toe is kind of left straggling behind, and just using your hands, just actually physically tuck those toes under. Yeah, and just think of sitting back. If it's okay, maybe you can come and completely sit up on the heels, bringing your hands on your thighs. For me, that's a bit too intense right now, so I'm just going to keep my hands down onto the floor. So the further away your hands, the less intense it's going to feel. And you just want to breathe through it. I know it can feel quite painful and through the feet. It's really important to stretch out all those muscles in the toes. This is really good to do at the end of a long day, being on your feet or walking around after a run. And then start to shift your weight forward. Very, very gently peel your toes and then bring the tops of the feet onto the mat. This is where we're going to reach for our pillow. And from here, you're going to bring your hands behind you and just gently lean back. Now, I want to counteract what I just did, so I want to bring a stretch in through the top of my feet. And to do that, I'm going to slide the pillow underneath my knees. And then gently lean back. Now you might need something maybe a little bit higher. Maybe you can do it without the prop and you can actually physically take your knees up off of the floor. So find what works best for you here. If you like having that prop there, feel free to keep it there to support this pose. It can be just as intense as the other one. Breathe. And then slowly come back up. Just remove that pillow from underneath the knees and move it off to the side. We're going to come back into tabletop. And from your tabletop, start to extend the right leg behind you. Toes stay planted onto the mat. And just start to shift your weight forward and back. Feeling that stretch in through the calf muscle. Maybe you roll out the ankle. moving in one direction, and don't forget to move in the opposite direction. And then from here, bring the heel of that foot down. Slightly pivot the left toes behind you to use as a kickstand. And then lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. From here, begin to sweep that top arm back and down, making a nice big circle with that arm. Yeah, reach it back behind you. And just keep moving that arm in one direction. And as you open it up, maybe you spiral your chest open towards the sky so you feel a little bit more in across the chest. Beautiful. And then we'll take that movement in the opposite direction. Really expanding your range of motion in that shoulder. Beautiful. Last one. The arm will come back to stack on shoulder on top of shoulder. Using the strength of your obliques, inhale, begin to lift your shoulders to stack over your hips. We're going to side bend towards that straightened leg. So that opposite arm is going to come up to reach up towards the ceiling. Inhale, and then exhale, side bend. Breathe. Beautiful. Shoulders come to stack back over the hips, arms nice and straight. Bring your hands gently in front of you. And then we're going to come to sit on our bottom. So as you sit down, that left foot is going to be to the inside of that right leg. Right leg's going to be extended. Inhale, reach up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, fold forward. Allow your arms, your hands to just fall wherever is best in your body. You can stay in stillness, or you can point and flex through that right foot. Notice how that changes the stretch in through the front of the leg, but also in through the hamstrings. Last breath here. Inhale, come back up through center. And then start to square your chest back towards the top of the mat. Come back into tabletop. And we'll do that on the other side. So this time extending the left leg. Again, start by shifting your weight forward and back, side to side. Rolling the ankle. And then drop that heel down, pivot the right toes a little bit behind you. Lift the left arm up towards the sky. And then start to sweep that arm back and down, creating a nice big arm circle. Really expanding. Really challenging that arm to work in its full range of motion. Maybe rolling your chest open up towards the sky to get in through the front of the chest. Beautiful. And then we'll take that movement in the opposite direction. Last one here. Next time your arm comes back up, stack your both shoulders on one on top of the other. And then inhale the strength of your obliques. Lift your shoulders over your hips. Side bend towards that straightened leg. Reach up and over. Take a nice few deep breaths. And then inhale, lift back up through center. Place your hands just in front so you can sit your bum down onto the floor. Square your chest towards the straightened leg. Inhale, let's reach up. Exhale, let's fold it out. Think of pulling your chest down towards your thigh. option to point and flex the foot here. Beautiful. And on your next inhale, gently lift yourself back upright. Square your chest towards the top of the mat. Let's meet back in tabletop. Come into child's pose. Bring the knees slightly apart, big toes to touch. Sit your heels down. Walk your hands forward. And rest your forehead down onto the mat. Just take a nice deep breath in through your nose. With an open mouth, let everything go. Gently walk yourself back upright. Thank you so much for practicing today for day 5 of our Spring into Yoga challenge. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I can't wait to see you on Monday. Namaste.